Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and specifically another one of our interview series here for the ESCZ 2022 artists. Today, I am joined by someone who probably has you asking, where are they now? But they're here with us today, and it is We Are Domi. How are you doing today?
We're
Good,
good.
good.
We're
Hey,
good.
how are you doing?
I'm great. I mean, it's an early morning here for me. It's about 8:30 in the morning, but
Okay.
I woke up this morning and I was like, "We're doing interviews. I've got
Yeah,
energy. Let's go."
that's nice. Yeah, it's just a very chilly day here in Prague. So we're just like in our apartment, just like in the warm. But yeah, it's good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I know for you all, obviously you were announced back on the 6th of December as participating in ESCZ, and you got kind of that big press buzz and announcement. But I know that there are probably a lot of people who are encountering you and your music for the very first time. So I guess for those people, how would you describe yourselves as a group, but also kind of your music and your musical style?
It's kind of hard to say because we could describe the single we have given out now, but if you go to our music profiles on the different streaming platforms, you can see that our six singles are quite different from each other. So I feel like we go through phases of when we make music, we are inspired by different things and we just make what feels right for us there and then.
Yeah.
But we have a bit of like this last single is a bit like EDM, more dancey song, but the verses are still more connected to what we have in every song, which is like a bit like dark, atmospheric, nice, a bit sad song.
Yeah.
So for that song, I would say that is the genre. But for the previous songs, we have a bit more like epic, atmospheric, big, like choir outros, and we have some drum and bass songs going on there. So we have a bit of everything.
Yeah.
You can go to our streaming platform and find whatever mood you're in. We have it.
Yeah.
What I like the best of it is, of course, where you can hear many different songs, or it's still us. That's what I like hearing from, or what I've heard from most people is that even though they are quite different, you can still hear it's you guys.
Yeah.
So there's something there that is us, but we're not quite sure, but it's there. So
Yeah.
that's the best part.
I guess like a bit of Scandi pop. I love a good ballad, kind of like cry your heart out. And like Benny said, there's a lot of the theme of like sad lyrics. I guess that comes mainly from me. Not that I'm a sad person or anything, but obviously it's good to get the emotion out when you're writing lyrics. So I guess that's how we can explain it. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. And I know that you all are kind of from all over the map. You have roots to England, you have roots to Norway, and then you also have roots right there in the Czech Republic. And so, at what point did y'all decide that, like, hey, we could be making music together? Why don't we do this? When did that happen?
Sure. So in 2000, okay, I can't actually, because now like all the years are crazy mashed up due to like COVID and everything. But I'll just say like 5, 6 years ago, we met at university in Leeds, which is like in the northern part of England. And that's where we met, or the boys actually knew each other from like this
From Norway.
folk high school in Norway. So we met there as like international students at like a conservatoire there. And in my second year, when they were in first year, I was looking for some bandmates to kind of, initially it was just for like a grade. So I just needed some musicians around me that can do my final year performance. And I kind of clicked with these guys. We met at like a Halloween party, just as you do, going to parties at university as you do. And I remember it really well. I was like in a hippie costume. I don't really know what you got. Yeah. And I didn't know the boys yet. And they were talking to some of their Norwegian friends that I think were visiting you guys at the time. And I heard somewhere like a few meters away, like, yeah, we really like Aurora. And I was like, that's them. Because I was at the time like a massive fan of Aurora, which is an artist from Norway. So I was like really into like the Scandi scene at that time, still am, but at that time it's like when I discovered it. So I like ran up to them a little bit tipsy, like, uni times. And I was like, guys, so you like Aurora. Let's like get into a band room together. Maybe let's create something together. And got into a room. We started working together. Of course, then the guys agreed to join for my end of the year recital. And we just decided like, okay, this can maybe go somewhere. Why don't we just keep trying to do these band rehearsals? And then it just evolved more and more into it becoming something that we wanted to start releasing and start gigging together in England with. And now we finished our studies and then COVID hit because we actually wanted to move to London at first. But that was just like a no-no because we were all at the time working with people in our jobs outside of school. So we were extremely broke and everything was closed and it was so like, okay, what the hell is happening in this world right now? So unpredictable. And but we didn't want to leave the project because we're all from different places of the world and we were so scared that like Zoom calls won't do it for us because we love working together, like in one room. And so I kind of said, hey, why don't we move to Czech Republic? Because I'm from Czech Republic. And at the time, with all the COVID restrictions, Czech Republic was still gigging, and we started booking in tour, like a little tour and everything. And then we were like, okay, let's just have like 1 year and see what happens in Czech Republic. Then we came here and we all got COVID.
Czech Republic had
Yeah.
4 health ministers,
Yeah.
and
Oh my
the
gosh.
tour got cancelled.
Yeah, it went to crap,
Yeah.
basically.
So we basically had COVID one after another. So we had to do quarantine together for 24 days.
Yeah.
And then once we got out of that quarantine, the whole country was in lockdown.
Yeah.
We quarantined together during lockdown, and we played Monopoly, and we didn't kill each other.
Yeah.
So I think we're inseparable
Yeah.
at the
Yes.
moment.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, after kind of everything calmed down a little bit, we decided to. We just felt like it was a shame to come to Czech Republic and like have all these opportunities that were coming and then getting canceled. We were like, no, come on, guys, let's just like give it more of a chance because we do have a following here and we love what we do together, and it's just like progressing into like music that we really enjoy more and more. So yeah, sorry, I'm getting a little bit like mushed up in the whole like story because it's like a big
Oh,
situation.
What was the question?
Yeah.
What's your favorite
I
food?
mean, that answers the question 100%. And I think that that's really nice to, and good to know kind of how not only did kind of the project really begin, but also like the longevity that the project has had. And that, I think that that's something that's really good for you all, especially as we're talking about potentially going to Eurovision, if we win the national selection, because that's a rigorous process. That's a lot of work. And when you are doing that with people that you enjoy being around, it's way better.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, speaking of that, and I guess we'll wind back a little bit before we talk about Eurovision, but specifically thinking about the national selection and ESCZ, what made y'all decide that like this was the year for you all to compete and submit?
Well, I don't think there's ever a time where someone is, let's do this, or it depends if there's someone who's been on Eurovision many times, but it kind of just happened since we played a split gig with Lake Malawi. You probably know them in Brno. It's the second biggest city in Czech Republic. This was a TV streaming gig, and of course they were super nice, and we were talking to them. We drove in the same car to the gig from Prague to Brno, and of course we talked about Eurovision, and they just had so many good memories from it. So many, all the stories sounded so cool, and we were like, let's try to join, or let's try to do that journey ourselves, and broadening out, getting people that wouldn't find us if we didn't apply for this. And also the thing of standing on a stage for only 3 minutes, giving everything and making those 3 minutes count super much. It's really different to what we usually do. Usually play a gig for 45 minutes, 1 hour. So it's really different. So now we have to plan every second of what we are going to do on stage, of course.
Yeah, and I actually the timing was perfect when I was preparing for this interview, because I noticed that your actual like official interview for ESCZ, like their YouTube channel, was released. And specifically for you, Benny and Casper, I know you had mentioned that like that was a struggle, because you're just used to just kind of, you know, doing whatever comes to mind. But the recording process, I think you had mentioned like you were like, okay, we got to come up with something. We got to kind of have some
Yeah.
dance moves or something to do. So I guess for you all, what was the recording experience kind of like? And if you could go back and do it again, would you change anything?
Ooh, good.
Well, the process was very strange because we have to really perform like we're performing in front of a massive audience, an audience who's giving us energy and like dancing with us. But we're just like looking at people with cameras like staring at us, very serious, like all the time.
Like, focus, like.
And then you're trying to smile to them, and they're like,
You're like dancing, feeling a bit stupid, and you look at people, and they're not like dancing and smiling. They're just like.
And the thing as well, since we got in-ears, so we were just listening to in-ears while we we're playing, and so it's not like super loud to even the cameraman. They're just seeing us almost in silence. They can just hear like our instruments and stuff like that. So yeah.
But it was extremely fun once we got into it, and like once we get into the zone and we can see each other dancing and having fun, then we start enjoying it a bit more and we get used to it. But it's obviously a bit strange when that's one of the first gigs we've done in months after COVID, you know. So
Bit weird,
it was a bit of a step up to do it, but it was definitely fun in the end to play again. So
and the production team was like super professional. The director on the day was like coming up to us after every single take, and he was like, look, this part that looked awesome, like do that, you know, really hyping us up, which was awesome because you kind of need that on the day. If you don't have the audience hyping you up, you need like the crew to hype you up. So they did a really good job. It was super professional. It was great. I don't know if
what will we do different? Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying that we had like 5 takes. So that was kind of like always in the back of our heads, you know. So like if we did like the 3rd take, we're like, okay, we have 2 more takes. Like let's not get sleepy now, because we were doing it in like the evening time was our recording. And so it was just like, okay, last take, like this could be it. So we were always like, okay, come on, like slapping each other, like, come on, okay, hype yourself up. But in the end, we actually chose the 5th take. So it's a little fun fact, because they always like, they were telling us like, guys, this is how it usually is. It's probably going to be the 1st or 2nd take because you guys are going to be full of energy and excitement. But in the end, we actually chose the 5th take, which I guess was like maybe a surprise to the crew. But that was kind of the one. I think it was because it was like a now or never thing. So like mentally we were like, if everything else isn't like exactly how we want it, this is our like last try. So we're super happy about how it came out. Yeah.
And still after the 5th take, we didn't manage to dance synchronized, me and Casper.
There is one take, but that wasn't that good because we were so focused on doing it synchronized. So we were like, oh.
So we didn't really play. We were just like, oh, right, left, right, left.
Of course, if we do get to go to Turin, then I'm sure the boys will.
I might do like a 360 as well.
Yeah. They might even put in like spins. You'll see. You'll see. There
I'll
might
learn to do a backflip. I'll learn to do a backflip with the bow. Like front flip, back flip.
Yeah. Someone throws Casper a bow and he's like.
Hey, we have seen weirder things on the Eurovision stage, so we could probably make it work. Well, it's actually really funny, Domi, that you mentioned the bow, Casper, because I wanted to ask you about that. Because I watched it a couple of times, and I guess I can't really figure it out, but I'm assuming that that's an electric guitar that you're playing. Yeah. Okay. So how did you come up with the idea that like, hey, we're going to throw this different sound in with an electric guitar, but also like a bowstring instead of just kind of playing just like normal?
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for the question. Since I'm super interested in this. So during my master's in the UK, we all did the master together in creative musician at Leeds Conservatoire. I got really I love Led Zeppelin, for example. Jimmy Page played with a bow with like a delay and loads of distortion, and it sounds so cool. And I know a few other acts, or High as a Kite from Norway, they use a bow. and Sigaros, he also used a bow, but all of them are using it on a 6-string guitar. So I want to start developing this further. So I customized it, so it got 3 strings. And on the guitar, it's where the strings are, it's flat, but I've taken something in the middle string, so it's like an arch, like a cello or a violin. So I can reach all the strings. So at the moment, I'm just doing intervals, like thirds, yeah, not music theory, sorry, but I'm just playing that, and so I can't play a lot of different, like loads of fast lines and stuff, since dancing and doing the bow thing is really hard. And so I'm really focusing on soundscaping. I'm a guitarist, so of course I'm a pedal nerd as well. So I love reverbs, delays, loads of different pedals. So it's all about soundscaping it. And trying to make it fit into it. And I think it really lifts the song a lot with it, both visually, since it's a bow on the guitar, super cool in my opinion though. But the sound as well, I really like the sound of it, since it sounds like a cello. And I got some effect pedals on, like an octave down, so it starts sounding more like an orchestra almost. And then of course loads of reverb and delay, and the result of it, or I'm really happy with the result of it. But there's so many hours of me standing in my room trying just to play, and it didn't sound good, and trying to find guitar strings that are more like cello strings. So I use like flat wound strings. There's just loads of thoughts. I could sit here and talk for it for 30 more minutes, but I'm not gonna use all the time on just talking about my book.
But it definitely adds that layer of real instrument sound and like stuff that we have had in our previous songs, to add that element to the EDM sound that the song already has. So it adds to the mix, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, and Domi, I had promised you a question as well, so it's your time to shine. The internet told me that you have a special relationship with Turin, because your dad actually won a bronze medal for the Czech Republic in Turin. Is that correct?
No.
Not correct.
No, well, I mean, I think bronze, I actually don't know if he won. No, but he won a gold medal for Czech Republic, but it was not in Turin.
But it was not in Turin.
Maybe it did win a.
Maybe it was a bronze.
Maybe they actually won it.
Because the internet tells me that he competed in the 2006 Winter Olympics in Turin.
I was in Japan.
No, that's 1998.
I was a baby. No, it was.
You were 11 years old.
No, that's incorrect.
That is super cool though.
No, my dad won a gold medal, and it was when I was like 2 or 3 years old, for ice hockey. So actually I was born in America due to my dad's professional.
Czech Republic won bronze.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, well, okay.
And now the daughter is there for the gold medal.
No, but he did win,
the
like,
return
he
of
did.
The hashtag. Oh, I can read it already.
Oh my god. No, he won a gold. He won a gold when I was like 2 or 3 years old, which I definitely just like slept through. But yeah, my dad played in the NHL. I guess since your audience is also American, so any NHL hockey fans out there, it is true. My dad was a goaltender back in the day, so that's why my accent is American. So I was living in Buffalo and Detroit and a bit in Canada. And yeah, so any hockey fans out there, hello. Hello. I also like hockey. What's up? But I did not continue the journey with the family situation. I went into music instead, but my parents are super supportive, and I still love hockey, of course. Yeah, it's what I grew up with, so yeah.
Well, you might want to have an interesting conversation with him about that, because I did even more digging. I was like, oh, this is an interesting kind of fact. Let me dig a little further. And so I learned that in the 2006 Turin Olympics, the venue that your dad actually played in is the exact same venue that is hosting Eurovision in 2022.
What?
I didn't know that.
That is cool.
So knowing that little fact, and knowing that we are kind of in contention to possibly go to Eurovision, what would it mean to you to be able to kind of I guess, relive some of the family legacy there in Turin, specifically in that arena?
I'll have to call my dad after this. I guess I'll have to call him. Well, first of all, it's kind of awkward because I didn't know that they won like a bronze medal. Because everything is always, because obviously, so like Czech Republic being a small country, we're like super proud when it comes to sports. So like the main focus is always about the gold medal. So that's what everyone always speaks about. But yeah, like I said, this is kind of oxys that I didn't know this information because because I mainly focus on like the NHL journey because that's when I was like getting older and I was actually like more aware. What the? I'm so confused about this. How did I
But
not?
it can be super cool though if you can perform in the
No, it
same
would,
place.
of course, it, like
it would be super cool.
yeah.
I'm
I mean,
answering for you.
thank you. I completely agree. I agree. Like I said, I'll have to call my dad after this information. Like I'm a little bit like, huh? But I mean, overall, we've never played on a massive stage like this, so I think it's gonna be exciting for all of us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
If we
If
get there.
if we do, we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, and I think one of the things that's the most interesting to ask, and I've asked quite a few of our artists this as well. Benny, you had mentioned that kind of in your songs you kind of have a smattering of things. There's a lot for everyone. But for you all, as either separate musicians but also as a group, who are some of your musical inspirations?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What's the...
So we all studied bachelor and master in music. So we spent all of our uni days digging into music and different artists. So it's really hard. It's a lot of different artists that I draw inspiration from. But I think, for example, Olafur Arnolds. I really like him. At the moment, I'm also a music teacher. So at the moment, I'm teaching about film music history. So digging super deep into Hans Zimmer, John Williams. So it's so broad. But for this kind of, or for our project, it's I think everything just mashes into one, and then the result is something.
It's changing all the time, since we have different inspirations from that month to the next, and then we hear something, we get into that artist, and then we dig deep into it, love it, and then suddenly next month comes, that artist is gone, we are listening to something completely else. So we like drag inspiration from everywhere, and I'm not sure if that's the answer you want, but I can't think of a specific artist, but
Emil Nicolas.
yeah, like listen to different artists. Like Breaks Up has really cool electronic music that I listen to, and that kind of definitely dragged some inspiration into this song, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, now you go.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think of someone specific, but I can't. Like,
No, it's okay. So I grew up a lot with Disney, and so I'm gonna go like way back. So I really like using like falsettos and stuff like that, like the very like bright, pretty sounding thing. I think I got that from like growing up. Also a big Celine Dion fan, so she was actually in Eurovision, which super cool. And so I like also like power in female vocals. So kind of like using those two. But then later on, obviously like growing up, listening to more not less Disney, but still love it. But maybe like in this song specifically, I tried to kind of feel a bit of like Dua Lipa vibes. I think she's awesome. I also really like listening, like because of the guys being Norwegian, they have me listening to a lot of like electro Scandi pop. So I really like Sigrid. She's awesome. We've seen her live together as well. Like I said, Aurora and stuff like that. I also like when I look into like lyric writing, I really like Julia Michaels. I think she's like just phenomenal. Sorry, my English, even though I speak English probably 80% of the time, even though I'm living in Czech Republic, because because I spent all my time with these guys and a lot of international, more like speaking friends. Like my English is getting worse and worse every single year, which is crazy. I think I'm like getting slowly like a weird accent. I don't know. Do I sound American to you, or I don't? Yeah, with
You
like a
do
twang.
sound, yeah, you sound a little, I mean, I can get kind of the
Um,
Northeast American pieces of
yeah,
it, but I can
it's
pick up some other things too.
yeah, because I went to Detroit like a couple of years ago after living in Prague for like a pretty long time. Because I moved here at like 13, and they were all making fun of me that I'm saying hockey weird because they actually say hockey
Yep.
from where I'm from. So I was like, no, that's a word that I should know because I say it like so many times, like it's like part of my life. So they were like, "Oh, you're getting an accent, Czech girl." And I was like, "Well, I mean, fair. I am Czech." So, yeah. And someone's also told me that sometimes I'm sounding a little bit British to Americans, but I don't know. I think it's just an evolving weird accent. Again, I don't even know what the question was anymore. I'm getting now I'm getting just talking about my accent. That was definitely not the question, but yeah,
That
whatever.
is okay. Well, I have one final question for you all. It's very, very easy. So, for the fans who are just running into We Are Domi for the very first time, where can they find you and kind of connect with you both, this next week, the next couple of days, but also after this process is over?
Okay,
I would say Instagram.
I think we communicate the most on our Instagram. So if you want to follow us there, it's we.r.domi. And yeah, we communicate a lot with every single comment and every single message that we get. That's kind of like our priority because we really want to build a community and talk with you guys. So don't be shy because we will reply to you. So you can find us there and
if you want to listen to our music, we should be on every
streaming.
streaming
platform you
platform, yeah.
prefer.
But as of now, we are still called Domi,
Yeah.
like DOMI, because
We just changed
it takes a few weeks to change band name, and then we wouldn't be on streaming platforms at all at this point, and that would be a disaster. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you just put in like DOMI lights off, for example, if you want to listen to our Eurovision song, you'll find us there. And then slowly we will, without you guys even realizing, we'll just transfer it into We Are Domi, just like do our little magic behind the scenes. But as of now, Domi put in lights off. You can find us there. Yeah.
Wonderful. Perfect. Well, I want to thank you all for spending some time with me today. It means a lot to take some time out of a very, very busy schedule just to chat. And of course, if you are listening and you want to support We Are Domi, make sure that you go to the ESCZ 2022 website, give them a vote, give them your support. But also, like they said, give them some love on their music, on their platforms, on their social media, and everything like that. And if you want to support us here on the channel, make sure you give us a subscribe and also hit that notification bell so you know when we post another interview, because we've got a bunch of them coming down the pipeline. But until then, I will leave you all. I will catch you all later, and I will say goodbye.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you later.